Welcome to Tampa Home Talk with your host, native Tampa real estate girl, Katrina Madewell, a full-time, passionate, out-of-the-box thinker, love for home ownership kind of realtor with over 21 years of combined mortgage and real estate experience. Tune in every week at this time for expert advice on everything you need to know about home ownership, finance, maintaining great credit, building wealth, and making your everyday life better, and how you can be financially successful today and tomorrow. Remember, love where you live or let Katrina fix it. Now, here's your host of Tampa Home Talk, Katrina Madewell.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today for Tampa Home Talk. You may remember in the preceding weeks, we had Cornerstone Tiny Homes in studio talking all about our show, Dream Big, Live Small. And we had many people that called in and discussed basically, how do you downsize? How do you change? How do you tweak and do this whole movement and live in a tiny home? And so we thought we would invite Cornerstone Tiny Homes back for another show, so that we could feature their open house and talk all about just how they're built. It will answer probably many questions that I have, and I think you'll enjoy a tour of their facility and seeing the home being built. So Cornerstone Tiny Homes is in the Orlando area.
Yeah, we're just north of Orlando.
North of Orlando?
Yep, and in Longwood, Florida.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll post the address where you guys where you manufacture them on site.
Okay.
And so what are some of the things you're going to be doing during the tour? And by the way, that's going to be August 15th, so Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m.
That's correct. Yeah, we'd love to have anybody that has a curiosity or maybe even has never seen a tiny home or just to come out and see us. We'll have two tiny homes under construction. One is either going to be complete or nearly complete. We'll just have to see what the next couple of days bring. And then we'll also have one in a frame stage, so you can see the components that go into a tiny home. It's much like building a normal home. We have insulation, there's all the appliances, we have wiring, all of those considerations that have to be met. And then, so when we have the open house this weekend, we'll have those houses available for everyone to tour.
So people will get to see one that's almost done. Mm-hmm. They'll get to see another one because you're touring two homes, right?
Yep.
They'll get to see another one that's kind of still open and in the process of being made.
That's correct, yes.
And so can you talk about some of the components that go into your home? Like what's the R value rating and the insulation?
Well, we use a new product. It's called Icynene. I shouldn't say new. I'm not really sure how long it has been
We actually talked about that in a couple weeks back. That insulation is actually used in $1 million homes because it's some of the best you can get.
Absolutely. It creates an envelope around your home. So your home is insulated from the trailer, up the walls, and in the ceiling space with an Icynene. It's a foam type of insulation. It's applied. There is actually a video on our website at cornerstonetinyhomes.com, but it shows the insulation being installed. It grows, and then it is specifically for your home.
And so, just can you give me an average idea of what an electric bill runs?
Well, Haley, she is our first tiny home owner, and I believe her electric bill is around $45 a month, and she runs her air conditioning 24/7.
I think is Haley on the phone?
Yeah, she is. Haley, you there? Yep.
Oh, good. Well, so she can tell you exactly how
right on time, Haley.
Yes, my electric bill, I do run 24 hours a day because I have a dog, so I don't want my dog living in a sweat box. And my electric bill, in the heat that we've had, especially this summer, that's been extreme, the highest that I've had is $45
wow.
a month.
What's your lowest?
Well, since I've only been here for about 3 months, I think the lowest was, 35.
That's still crazy. I mean, talk about downsizing and simplification. I mean, it's amazing. the design process of the home, like just curious, like some different things about it. And with regards, like, do they have ridge vents and attics, or like yours, James, doesn't have an attic, right? Because you're
Actually, I do.
You do.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have, the way that mine was built, above my bathroom, there's a panel that can be pulled off that has an attic space up there.
Okay.
So when I moved into my home, I wanted to make sure that I could fit everything I needed without using that space, so that if I ever do have access in the future for some reason, I know that it's there. So right now, I have nothing in it.
But it's just in case.
Exactly.
We talked about the, what was the name of it again? The tiny house cheating, right? That's your little hideaway? Little trap door?
Yeah.
Well, Haley's not exactly tiny house cheating because she actually has an attic in her home. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do all of the homes that Cornerstone built have attic, or it's a preference kind of thing?
It is. Everything is done custom. So if someone needs an attic, we want to give you an attic. If you need an office, we want to provide that as well. We really go through an intense interview process with our clients to determine what in their lifestyle is important to them, what they have to have in order to live comfortably, because it will be their home, typically. Sometimes it's a second home. It depends. But, yeah, so it's a very intense process that we go through, very personalized. If you're a golfer, you absolutely need to have a place to put your golf clubs.
Right.
If you like to sew, you need room to sew and spread out to
So
sew.
somebody like me, I'm thinking there's actually room for my scrapbook crap.
Oh, we could find you a spot. Absolutely. Well, probably in Haley's attic, right?
Yeah, and one of the reasons that I chose to have that extra space up there was because I do own my own business, and I work with a lot of products. I make my own product line. So there are points where I may have excess herbs and oils and things like that because I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. So if I do have extra, I have a place for my business products.
Can you tell me about the interview process, Kim? Like, what goes into that? I know you said it's extensive. Like, how long is that? And what kind of questions do you ask?
Well, it's very funny. Everyone has a different process of what they can go through in order to make their decisions. So some of our interviews are very brief, and what I consider a brief interview would be about 2 hours. But we have had interviews that have gone on through days and days.
Wow.
Because other people make their decisions in their own time, and some people have to process that and think about it. And honestly, in the end, they're usually the people that are more happy with their space. The more time and planning that they can put into it, and the more thoughts that they can have about how they will live, and like James said, to be honest about how they live, I think the happier they're going to be.
Well, I mean, you said you took, 3 years, James, to read and plan and prepare and really just make the decision, right?
Oh, absolutely. I 2009 is when I got interested. 2011 was when I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. And it was a 3-year process to, get myself independent so I could work from home, sell my condo, downsize, build my home. I didn't build with Cornerstone Tiny Homes. I built it with Tennessee Tiny Homes.
But it was a while before you pulled the trigger.
Move. Oh, yeah. I mean, I started looking at this in 2009, and it took me from 2011 to 2014 to line it all up. Now, when it happened, but I'm a planner and I'm a researcher, but when it happened fast. Like, I found Orlando Lakefront at College Park as a tiny house community. I told my builder go, and within 4 months, I was parked on a lake.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With $1 million homes across from me.
Isn't that fabulous?
Yeah, it is.
And one of the beautiful things that I think, for me personally, working with Brett and Kim and Cornerstone, was that when we designed the interior together, when we went through the process, there were things that we tweaked, and they allowed me the opportunity to do that. So, originally I thought, because I was living in St. Petersburg, I wasn't in the area, I didn't know exactly how I wanted my layout to be. So Kim was so gracious to send me options and say, well, what do you think about this? And, and then I'd say, oh, well, maybe let's tweak it this way. And so the way that they were able to work with me in that sense was incredible. And that's why I got the beautiful finished product that worked specifically for me.
Now, I know, Kim, you and I were talking a little bit before the show. Is you and your husband that own Cornerstone Tiny Homes?
Yeah, my husband is a general contractor and has been doing contracting work for probably the last 12 years in our area, and I'm an interior designer.
So tell me about your background. Like, he did renovation, rehab.
Yep, we did anything from a whole build to renovations, remodels, additions, and that sort of thing. So we decided to go into the tiny home business.
What sparked this? Like, where did this come from?
It was one of those pivotal moments that you don't realize is a pivotal moment at the time. Brett went to view another job to bid on one, and at that place there was a tiny home park there, and it was the first time he'd ever seen one. And so upon looking at it, he was disappointed with the craftsmanship, for lack of a better term, of this. And so we started looking into it, just like James, just like everyone. We started looking into the tiny home movement at that time. So, and from there, it was born.
It's kind of like something that you feel, right?
Yes.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think every tiny houser, whether they're a builder or someone who lives in a tiny house or even dreaming of living in a tiny house, gets that feeling in their gut and they get excited and they think that we're going to be able to, let's go ahead and do it. I mean, I like to say this about Cornerstone. They've been so helpful in our open houses at Orlando Lakefront, our tiny house community where Haley and I live, is that they jumped like every tiny houser, like we do. We jump feet first into this, like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Oh my God, I'm living in a tiny house now. How is this going to work? They did that with their business, like feet first. Stopped building big houses, jumped into building tiny houses, and so they radically downsized their business, like we radically downsized our lives.
So what would you say, like, what's the common denominator for most people? Is it a more simplistic life?
And it's interesting that you asked that question because we have come across so many answers to that same thing. There is no one common thing other than they know that they don't want all of the stuff anymore. Or there's also people that use it as a second home. So they still have all their stuff at home, and then they have their vacation home to come to Florida, say, as a snowbird, come here to live. And we're also looking at different people that might. This would be a great tool to use for people that have had a disaster, such as a fire.
Yes.
So
I was thinking that same thing earlier. Like, what would happen if you lost everything in a fire? This would be a great place to either start to rebuild, or maybe it's a permanent lifestyle. I don't know.
Well, what our point was, you could pull a tiny home into the driveway of the house that had the fire. The kids can still go to school. They can still be in their neighborhood. They still know all of their neighbors, and they can probably supervise any work that's being done to take care of their issues that they had in the fire.
I mean, if you think about it, you have a family that has likely lost everything. Mm-hmm. And so as opposed to uprooting the kids and maybe changing schools and, living with another family or however that shakes out, it would make sense for them to have their own space.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many options within this movement. That's one of the nice things about living tiny is that you have flexibility and mobility, but the movement has flexibility and mobility. And there's so many applications with tiny houses for affordable housing, for veterans, for the homeless, for like Tiny House of Hope. We have a Tiny House of Hope coming into Orlando Lakefront.
Where it's a domestic violence situation.
Absolutely.
Someone's probably scared to leave and they're afraid they're going to be homeless or live in a shelter. Maybe they have a child. Who knows?
Exactly.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And
there are a lot of communities that are popping up across the nation that are specifically being built for homeless, people who are homeless, which is a really beautiful thing.
I mean, I think you could just, if you give somebody hope, it can change the footprint of their life.
Absolutely. And that's what Tiny House of Hope is. We have a woman coming to the park who was, sadly, the target of domestic violence, and this organization, the nonprofit, is giving her a home so that she can live with us in our tiny house
You
community.
do good deeds, they come full circle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that the truth?
one of the questions I had in my mind for you, Kim, was do you ever get the question or people that ask, well, why would I pick a tiny home over an RV? Like, what are some of the difference between either maybe a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, which is obviously bigger, or like a camper or driving RV? Because they're mobile, they're on wheels. So theoretically speaking, you're traveling all around to different RV parks. You're going to see a lot of America or wherever you're going. It's a great way really just to see a lot of stuff.
Certainly.
But tell me, how do you answer that? Like if somebody says, why should I buy a tiny home over an RV or camper?
The typical lifetime of an RV, it is an aluminum skin around an aluminum frame. The typical lifetime on those are roughly 7 to 10 years, depending on how you use it and how it's maintained. Whereas with a tiny home, it's probably not been established yet.
Right, it's new.
It's a newer movement, I'd say.
But I mean, these are prehab construction and specifications that match any home. It just happens to be small. Am I right?
Well, yes, we build according to Florida code. So it is a stick-built, wood-framed home. It has a typical shingle roof, or it can have a metal seamed roof on top. It looks like a home. It is a siding on the outside, the shingles on the roof, typical windows. It's nothing like an RV with the crank-out windows, the roof air conditioner, all of those sorts of things. They're very energy inefficient, an RV is,
Right.
whereas with a tiny home, we're extremely energy efficient.
I mean, it's so small, you can build it in a manufacturing facility or plant. That's the whole point.
That's what we do. Yes, we have.
And you don't have lost production time that you would for rain or other details like that.
Isn't that great? We've had torrential rains here in Florida since we've opened up, and we have been able to continue construction all through them. It's been wonderful.
I mean, I'll tell you from somebody that owns a travel trailer, they do break down a lot faster. I mean, constantly, especially with kids, are so hard on stuff. At least my kids are. Maybe everybody's kids are not like that, but mine are like that. And there's constantly like little things breaking and, like the plastic yellows and like a lot of little things like that if you ever own a trailer or a camper or anything like that,
Yes. Oh, yeah. The longevity of this is just like, we expect it to be just like a home. Of course, you still have to maintain your home, but the longevity of a tiny home, because it's built in a traditional manner from the trailer up, is the same as a home.
So do you have to have a tag on it like a car?
The trailer does come as a registered trailer. So it comes from our manufacturer. Each trailer is built custom for your home. We have to take into consideration things like the plumbing placement in the trailer might affect where we put a cross member. So we never make the trailer until we have your specific plan determined.
But I mean, ultimately, it's going to have a tag on it, right?
It does
that you
have a
can
tag.
move. I mean, campers do too. But
Yep.
Haley,
absolutely.
you were going to say?
Yeah, I can say from a personal perspective, I looked at RVs before I decided to go with the tiny home as well. And the reason that I chose the tiny home over an RV was because of the investment perspective on it. So I know, not that I'm planning on moving out of my tiny home, but if, say, down the line, because I am still relatively young, down the line I get married, have children, and I do need a little more space, I know that I'm capable of renting this out, and it's going to hold its value as to where an RV is not going to.
Well, coming from a real estate background too, it's really not much different than even buying a trailer, right, on land. They're going to depreciate just like a car.
That is true. Whereas a tiny home, we don't expect it to at all. With tiny homes too, there's different levels of manufacturing. There's a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there. We bring a level of professionalism to the build because of our past experience. Just today, we received word that we had come through an RVIA inspection.
Now, what's RVIA? Break that down for the person listening.
It's recreational vehicle. Oh man, Inspection Association. Oh,
Okay.
geez, isn't that terrible? I can't think of the
Well,
exact
RVIA, but I like
acronym.
to break the acronyms down.
Yes. So what they are a governing body that is over all of RVs in the world. I'm sorry, they belong to this group. They come, they inspect your home, and from there you are able to park in many different parking areas that wouldn't allow normally a non-RVIA trailer in. We have different financing options available under that membership, as well as insurance. So, yeah, all of those things. There's only three I believe there are only 3 other tiny home companies in the United States that are RVIA certified.
Wow.
Recreation Vehicle Industry Association.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Doing a great job back there. Thank you. So, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the things that we missed in the last show. One of the things that we didn't talk about that I would love to chime in on, and we'll do it after the break, is how do pets acclimate and get used to, and like what's their, how do they act and that kind of stuff in a tiny home. Want to say something before we hit the break?
Sure, yeah. Haley, this will be great because Haley and I both live in the same tiny house community, and she has a dog and I have 2 cats. So we'll
great.
cover it.
Can't wait to talk about it. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Cornerstone Tiny Homes, Kim, as well as our guest James and our calling guest Haley. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
You can't stand to think, and it's already started without you. So find your desperation, 'cause it's time to go. 'Cause it's a long, long way from home. There's no reason to belong.
Hey, Katrina Madewell here. Just wanted to make sure you know how to reach us on our off-air number. If you'd like to connect with myself or any of our guests, you can call us at 813-377-2775. Again, this is Katrina Madewell, host of Tampa Home Talk, and to connect with myself or any guests we have on air, just call or text at 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775.
You're buying a house. Congratulations. So while you're worrying about the paperwork, leave the moving part to us. We're Woody & Sons Moving Company, a Florida licensed and insured mover, and we offer same-day written estimates. Plus, no sneaky mileage, stairs, or additional stop fees. All we ask is that you check out our great ratings on Google and Angie's List, then go to woodyandsons.com to learn more. Whether you need a full-service pack and move or some extra hands, at Woody & Sons Moving Company, we move you.
Curious what your Tampa home is worth? Here's an easy way to find out what homes like yours are selling for in today's market. Text the word VALUE to 813-377-2775 for a free report on Tampa house prices. We'll send you a free report with up-to-the-minute statistics based on all homes for sale sold in your neighborhood over the last 6 months in all price ranges. To get your free report on Tampa Bay house prices, just call or text the word VALUE to 813-377-2775.
You've heard this before. Interest rates are at all-time record lows. But if your interest rate is 4% or above, you owe it to yourself to call Silverton Mortgage Specialist. Silverton is a direct lender, and the best part about this is that the entire loan process is handled in-house. From application to close, we do it all in the same building, which means that our loans close fast and our clients know what's going on every step of the way. Our contact info is located on TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show. What makes Silverton different? Products. We offer VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loans pricing. Best rates with the lowest closing cost. Process everything in-house. It's handled right here and not outsourced to anyone that no one can reach. This way we can avoid surprises. Our people are simply the best, and we know you'll agree. What will closing Silverton Mortgage Specialist mean to you? A A smooth process, real home loan value, and personal attention from real professionals. Silverton Mortgage Specialists are here to serve you. Visit TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show for all of our contact details. NMLS 109600 is an equal housing lender and Florida and Georgia residential mortgage licensee.
Hi, this is Aaron Davis, owner of Hillsborough Title. Hillsborough Title is a local, family-owned title agency here in Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. We've served Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Call us at 813-712-8888 or visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
Ask me about an inside secret to save several hundreds of dollars on your annual homeowner's insurance premium. Text the word WIND, W-I-N-D, to 813-377-2775. Again, 813-377-2775.
This is Michael J. Mayer, #1 international best-selling author of 7L, The 7 Levels of Communication, with the subtitle of Go From Relationships to Referrals. And someone who knows how to go from relationships to referrals is your host for Tampa Home Talk, Katrina Madewell. Listen, tell your friends, spread the word. You need to listen to Tampa Home Talk every Thursday and Saturday at 5 p.m.
Welcome back. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk, and I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Thanks so much for chiming in and sticking around after the break. If you missed any part of today's show, we are in studio today with Cornerstone Tiny Homes. We're talking all about their tour that is coming up Saturday, August 15th from 1 to 4 p.m. You can tour their manufacturing facility and kind of see how they're made, how they're built. You can ask them questions, and you can actually see one just about finished and one in the making. So we also had a couple guests call in during the break, and we're going to get to them. Brett, which is actually your husband.
That's right.
And we also have Alan, which is your marketing person for Cornerstone Tiny Homes.
That's right.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi, who's this?
This is Katrina. Who's this?
Hi, Katrina. This is Brett.
Hi, Brett. So,
Thanks for the opportunity.
You're welcome. I don't know when you chimed in or if you heard. I was asking Kim the why, like how come you made the shift and where it came from and your background.
Something just happened there. I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
We were just talking about the background of Cornerstone and where the whole thing came into play and where your background was, where you guys started. So what's your role in this whole process with Cornerstone?
Well, as you said before, obviously the mastermind is sitting with you over there. But
happy wife, happy life.
Exactly.
And it's extremely true. But no, Kim and I started this business a few months back. Actually, close to a year back, we kind of got the idea and started building. And we finished up all of our larger home projects and decided we were going to go tiny completely, just because it looked like a fun thing to do.
And you stumbled across one for the first time, and that's kind of what intrigued your curiosity, I suppose?
Yeah, and started looking into it and started seeing how people were building, and we were very confident we could do a better job for, in a lot of cases, less money. So that's kind of what motivated us to jump in.
So talk about the kitties and the doggies, because I know, James, you have cats or cat?
I have 2 cats.
Okay, and Haley has a dog. So how do your pets adjust?
Well,
how did they adjust?
Well, my cats were kind of. One thing, I talked to my vet first. I said, I'm going to do this. Are they going to?
Boy, you are a planner.
I am.
You talk to your vet. You're so a planner.
I am. It's a sickness, really.
I love it.
But so I talked to her, and she said that cats are vertical creatures, not horizontal. So as long as they had a lot of height and vertical space to play with, they'll be okay. And,
really?
And as a matter of fact, Cornerstone was kind enough to build me a cat ramp that goes from my loft to the front of my tiny house, and I I have my catwalk.
Catwalk.
Yes, my
I
catwalk.
love it. You got some
my-
music for that.
My kitty catwalk, exactly. Thank you, Brett. And
Right, said Fred.
Brett put it up and let me come over to the shop, and and he put it up for me, and I have a little ledge right above my front door where my hexagonal window is, and my cats get up there and they look out and they have all this horizontal space, vertical space to play with, and they're happy cats.
I mean, animals don't like to move anyway. So anybody I've ever talked to, just the move for any animal is a little bit traumatic, especially if it's far and they're in a car for hours.
It was a nightmare. Like, it was a nightmare taking them out here. They do not like to travel. They meowed the entire time. But the nice thing that I told them, I said, once you get in this house, you're never leaving again, even if we move.
And do they listen?
Because we're on wheels. Oh, they love it. They love it. They love it. They did listen. That made them, less anxious about the move and all that kind of stuff. But I'll stop there because I'm sounding kind of crazy.
Oh, I think it's fun though.
I was like, wait, we're talking about animals right now,
That's what
right?
makes people unique.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, thank you very much.
Actually, on the subject, I've got a very rambunctious 80-pound puppy, Zico, the tiny house spokes dog, and if you hear any barking right now, it's him being impatient. So
Did
I
you say
apologize ahead of time.
80-pound puppy? Isn't that like an oxymoron?
Well, he's probably not considered a puppy, but he's a big boy. He's a big boy. He just acts like a puppy.
Your puppy dog. So Haley, how was your dog?
That was a huge concern of mine, and so it was a must that I had to have stairs in my tiny home, because my dog sleeps with me. And so you can, read more about that and see pictures of the stairs that Brett builds on my blog, quittersnation.com. So when she first got here, she was a little hesitant about all of it. I was concerned about the space issue and whatnot. But ironically, at my old apartment in St. Pete, I had a fenced-in backyard, and I would let her out to run around, and she was just lonely. And so once she got here and became acclimated, there are so many residents that have other pets that she is more excited and loving it than I've ever seen her in any other place that I've ever lived.
Well, it's kind of like kids, right? You're spending more time with your pet, too.
Oh, that's true.
Because you're not in corporate America anymore.
Hey, that's super true. I didn't even think of that.
So it's kind of like a big circle of life.
Well, what's funny is that Haley had concerns about Nesta getting up into the loft, and so did I. I mean, they're cats, but I was like, how are they going to meow all night? How are they going to get up there? And I obsessed over, those cat shelves that you can put your wall and they act as steps and all of that kind of stuff. And I wasn't thinking catwalk at the time, but I was like, how are they going to get up there? And I obsessed over it. My boy cat just climbs the ladder, even if it's
Does he really?
He just climbs up the ladder and he jumps down from the loft onto the couch to be able to get down. And
Just saw the video. That's really cool. He's like,
I know, right? He loves that. And then she jumps, up, and she manages to get up there by jumping up on my entertainment center and then up to the loft.
So how about your dog, Haley? Little dog, big dog?
She's about 50, 55 pounds.
Oh, so good sized dog.
Yeah, for sure.
How does she get upstairs?
She's fine with it. It took her maybe 2 to 3 days to get over her nervousness about them, but now I'll be working downstairs on my computer, and she'll just do her own thing, go up into the loft, take a nap, and she loves it.
And Haley has typical stairs. It's not a ladder. Yeah.
So, and there are some challenges, right? Like I think Renee's with us anymore, but she joined us for the last show. Is Renee with us, Chris? He's not even listening. He's like back there jibber jabbing. Anyway, so we were talking about some of the challenges like zoning and that kind of stuff. But some of the other challenges that come with a tiny home is financing, right? That's a big one for you guys.
It is a big one. Currently, a typical tiny home loan is a personal loan, unsecured. Normally, the time frame is a 7-year loan. So that does make it prohibitive for people to get financing. So we'd love to have anybody
people to get financing.
Yeah, we'd love to have anybody that is a financier of any kind contact us.
We talked about it, James, and I think the banks just really haven't really wrapped their brain around what it is yet.
They haven't.
And the riches are in the niches. So once you figure that out and you get that, you'll be the go-to lender.
Yeah. I mean, once somebody gets this niche, they will be. I mean, that's what you hit the nail right on the head. And the thing is that as a tiny house advocate in the movement, we need to make this movement, if somebody wants to go tiny, accessible, because it makes the American dream of home ownership affordable again and sustainable. We realized in 07, 08 that it's not sustainable.
This was. I'm sorry, James. I didn't mean this actually came up in a conference call I was in yesterday with the Florida Housing lady from the Florida Housing Coalition and a land use attorney. And the idea we were kicking around was this is actually considered affordable housing. And nonprofits are able to get property from counties basically for free. And if we could get zoning corrected, not necessarily corrected, but changed to accommodate a tiny home, then we could zone these properties into several lots. Each one of those lots could be given to a tiny homeowner, and then there's the property attached to the tiny home, which makes it a mortgage.
Right.
So we're looking into that right now. There's a lot of people at state level, and like I said, land use attorneys that are looking into that. And it's gonna, once that model is set up, I think there's going to be no stopping this whole movement.
Well, people like me are very involved. I'm always trying to help other business owners, fix issues in their business and help their business grow. And I'm a big advocate for home ownership. Regardless of how that happens for anybody, I'm a very big advocate for home ownership. And so, some of the challenges that we've had in recent years, like the flood insurance, is huge. I mean, I had a client, literally, their flood insurance premium was about $35,000 a year. It was more than the mortgage payment. Oh my God. And you can't do that. So they put a Band-Aid on the flood thing. But, people like me gather once a year for what they call Great American Realtor Days. And so we go up to the Capitol in Florida, Tallahassee, and we literally lobby with legislators. So Florida Realtors chooses things, on the bill or whatever the talking points are going to be that we discuss with legislators, because these are important issues. And like flood insurance was on that topic, and many things like this. And so the reason why I bring that up, Brett, is because it's right on time with what you said. And I don't think you had it wrong the first time when you said correct the zoning issues, because I think it's really a matter of correcting them.
Well, and actually, the attorney that was on the call mentioned that it might be an issue that could be forced.
I believe so. Yeah.
Into zoning regulations. So there's James and Haley and people like-minded are not going away. This is here.
Yeah.
And you know what, Brett? People like me that have been around, for 22 years, I've been in this industry, and I had no idea, like with what Renee was sharing earlier, that, in Brevard County where she was at, in Rockledge, Florida, the minimum requirement was 1,200 square feet.
Yeah, the average in 1973, the average home for a family with 2.5 children and the dog was 1,200 square feet. And now, last year, it's gone up to 3,800 square feet. Average.
Well, yes. I actually don't think that Renee was 100% accurate in that.
No, that's my stat. That's my stat, Brett.
In the code book.
But what I'm saying is you obviously have to make a change regardless of what that is.
Right.
It's not the 200 square feet home that Cornerstone is building.
Right, but city and zoning it's different for every city,
area,
county.
municipality,
you break it down, it is just insane. And that's what's great about Cornerstone.
The Florida Building Code is what it is. It's how the county interprets certain items. That there's I'm trying to recall the number in the code book, but regardless, there's one that says that the minimum of 70 square feet that's not a kitchen or a bathroom space, which a tiny home would actually qualify for. That's in the building code. The building code doesn't apply because they're on wheels. The zoning issue is what's kind of in the middle.
You hit that gray area because you're not a car, you're not an RV, you're not stationary, so you're kind of like, different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's a new difference. So not everybody knows how to handle it, including lenders and insurance companies and that type of thing.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, those are some of your other issues would be getting insurance on them. Definitely appraisals. I mean, I could see an appraiser going, "Oh, this is my worst nightmare. Like, how in the HE hockey stick am I going to comp this thing out? It's 200 square foot."
I've been in this movement for a while now, and I have never heard the word appraiser with this. And that's
I know,
hilarious.
that's the thing.
I mean, it's very clear we need lending products to be able to help people get in.
Right.
It's very clear that we need, tiny housers like Renee, or to be tiny houser like Renee, to go and be an advocate to change zoning and be advocates within the movement to change regulations within the government and zoning and stuff. And what I like about, and some builders are doing that too. And that's what's good about Cornerstone. They're also an advocate for the movement, even though they're in a for-profit model. They are advocates of the tiny house social movement and moving it forward.
And don't sell short what Renee's done. Renee
Not at all.
is an absolute rock star in this movement because what she's accomplished is huge. So,
Renee's our rock star of the day.
Renee's our rock star of the day. That
And
was
she's
here.
not even here yet.
Last week she was here. And
That's
she
right.
was
We'll just blow her up and talk about her. Be all good.
right, exactly. She'll get everybody talked about you. Yeah, she's a model.
We love you, Renee.
Is she going to the open house?
I hope she's coming to the open house. I invited her last week to Orlando Lakefront at College Park's open house. We have an open house every second Saturday of the month. We're not having one in August, obviously, because Cornerstone, we want to support them. Haley's home was built with Cornerstone, so she's going to be there. And
Which is, by the way, August, it's the 15th. So
Yep.
Saturday, August 15th from 1 to 4
Right.
p.m.
But
It's this weekend, right?
It's this weekend.
Yep.
And
This
then
weekend, yeah.
we'll return to our second Saturdays from noon to 3 at Orlando Lakefront at our tiny house community from noon to 3.
Yeah.
I love that you open up your heart and your home, for people to see, because not everybody is like, yeah, sure, come on in, you can tour my home.
You know what? I am like from the curious to the serious. Come one, come all. It's all about getting people inside and try to getting.
Absolutely.
Right,
and
Haley?
It's something, I mean, I studied tiny homes for a year, and you can watch so many videos of tiny homes, but until you actually step into one,
Well,
at least for me, I couldn't make the decision until I was able to step into a tiny home myself. So
I cannot wait to tour it. Like James,
you gotta come.
James and Haley, I'm so touring your thing. And even though I'm not going to make your open house because I'm leaving for a cruise, I am so going to tour your facility to check them out because I'm so curious.
No, we want you to because you're curious. But
We would
Katrina,
love to have it.
ask me what the first tiny house was I walked into.
Oh, I have to hear. Do tell.
Mine.
Really?
So you never saw one before?
I had never stepped foot in a tiny house before I built mine. I'd never seen one
and the
personally
first
and never.
one-
Yep. And
The
then,
first one I saw was his.
oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's
So,
true. Yeah,
so
she
for a
came to it.
planner, that's pretty brave.
Well, I knew after watching like a gazillion million or how many there were at the time from 2009 to 2011 YouTube videos on tiny houses. I just knew I could do it without a doubt. I thought it was. I thought it made sense financially. I looked at my amortization schedule on what I had left on my mortgage, what interest I owed. The interest I owed on my mortgage
was more than what you paid
was
for
more
your
than
house.
what I paid for
Yeah.
my tiny house.
So how did you pay for your house? Was it
How did
cash?
it? Yeah, I cashed out. I did. I sold my place.
You took whatever assets you had
I did.
and
I
ran for the hills.
went liquid.
Or not the hills.
Paid it all down, moved here, and basically it's kind of like starting over, but I'm playing a game with myself. I look at my amortization schedule. Whatever that interest payment is, I half it and I put it into an IRA.
Good for you.
So when I'm done, when I cash it, that will all be what I'm calling beach money.
Well, you can do whatever you want to do at that point. I mean, you can travel.
Right?
You can travel with your tiny
I
house
can
if you want
travel
to.
now. I can travel now. It's like, why wait? That's what I was like, why wait?
Yeah, you can
And
live, like
if
really live.
If you are out there and you're listening to this and you think you can go tiny, you can. And I just go for it. Just leap
Yeah.
of faith. Jump in.
Yeah,
Water's-
if you change
water's
your
fine.
mind, I can always sell it for you and find you another house.
There you go. There is no tiny house realtor. Talk about a niche.
ask
You
Chris.
can make a mint.
My motto is love where you live or we'll fix it. Is it not, Chris?
It is.
I tell everybody that I will resell your house for free. If you buy it from me and you don't love it, I will resell it for free.
Well, I'm going to go to the open house, and you know me and how impulsive I am, and I'm probably going to leave there with half of my life savings gone, and I'm going to be now a tiny homeowner and
That is
freaking
awesome.
out because what am I doing? And oh my God. And Katrina, what do I do? Help me. I can't do this anymore.
I'm trying to get my producer, Chris, to do a live show afterward.
Is that Chris that I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
James was the only tiny house that I saw before I built mine.
And I was in boxes. I had just been at Orlando Lakefront for 3 days, and she came in, and I mean, it's just crazy that my first tour would become like my best friend in the park.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, community creates your friends, creates your lifestyle.
Well, we are doing that. I mean, that's crazy. I mean,
So, Chris, can I put you on the hook? Are you going to go do a live show from Cornerstone, after people tour it and get some opinions?
I mean, I'll do interviews and we'll do some videos and stuff, but we're not going to be able to do
I think you should host it live and take calls. Big Ed will
because
fill
then
in
I
for
won't
you.
be able to do.
oh, he wants to shop.
I want to be able to
shop.
He does need to have time to shop.
You're going to be there from 1 to 4 shopping. So, see, you got to host the show.
Excuse me, Mom? What's happening now? I'm going to be where, when, what time?
See, he's my radio husband.
We can see that he's your RH.
You pack my lunch
Chris,
too?
you can come early or stay late. We'll take care of you.
Yeah,
All right. What time
absolutely.
should I be there? In all seriousness.
Oh, all seriousness, you come anytime after. Okay, I get up about probably 7, so you can come anytime after that.
Making breakfast. I'm making waffles.
Yeah, the open house is 1 to 4, right?
It is,
It's 1 to 4 on Saturday. This Saturday,
15th.
right?
Well, then
the
maybe I'll
15th.
get there
And
early.
You come here early,
We'll do
and
some
Haley will
videos.
be there. And right, Haley, you'll be there.
She's not going to cook. Don't ask her to cook.
Yeah.
She'll give you some fruit.
Haley, you bringing the coffee or should I?
I will bring the paper towels.
All right. Yeah, thank you. If you listened to last week, you heard all
not
about
everybody.
the tiny house shame about paper towels. If you missed it, well, we're not going to tell that story again.
It's not a podcast. You just hop on over to Tampa Home Talk. You can listen to
There
it.
you go. It's on the podcast from
Dream
last
big,
week.
live small. It's on there.
Exactly.
So is Alan, is he on the phone or no? He is?
Nope, he's gone now.
Oh, we
I
lost
just got a
him.
text from him that said I'm out.
He's
Yeah,
out. He should have waited. He could have just done the close.
waited.
He waited. He waited.
Tell him to call back.
45 minutes.
Yeah, you got to hear from Alan. He's a riot. Alan is a riot. He's their marketing guy, and he's just too
So
funny.
is he tweeting and Facebooking and Instagramming? He's Instagramming, right? He better be in
He's not
Snapchat.
Instagramming.
so.
I'm trying to
I
get
don't
him
know.
to
Definitely be
Instagram.
Instagramming and Pinteresting.
Now,
Yeah.
Pinterest.
I was off social media since 2009 until I was on blackout, as part of my live minimal
I'm
and
not
have
doing
more
it.
time. I'm not, and and as a tiny house movement advocate, I figured, okay, now I have to get connected. I have to do this. So I started my own blog, thecompanystoreonwheels.com, Facebook page, The Company Store on Wheels, as well as Instagram, The Company Store on Wheels. And I just got on Instagram. And I used to be a PR marketer for social media. And, everything that I used to do take forever in HTML is just a click away now. And everybody's like, you're going to love it. Kaylee was like, James, you have to get on Instagram. You have to do it.
Get in Pinterest.
And
Get him on Pinterest.
I went on Instagram. Everybody was telling me it's going to be
That's
your
like
medium.
a key on crack.
And
I love that.
that's what I was just going to say. Instagram is like Instacrack.
Yeah.
It is just crazy. And I just have been on it for like 5 days, and
Pinterest is
already
no
I'm like
different.
1 a.m. Finding it's don't get me on Pinterest.
Pinterest is worth, especially your visual. Like all my little techie friends are like Pinterest. I'm like, I don't want to get on
Right.
Pinterest. It's one more social media platform I have
Right.
to manage. But you know what? Like it's Lord, it's addicting.
Right. But you can go. You can see lots of pictures on Haley's blog at Quitters.
We love to share the joy that we found in the movement. So we're all very much proactive on Facebook, Instagram, blogging, pretty much anything that you can think of, just because, we want to share that joy with others.
Chris, did you say Alan's back for a couple minutes?
Alan is there.
Hi, Alan. Welcome.
Thank you. This is Alan, the marketing guy.
Thanks for joining us.
He's our marketing partner.
So tell me, what are you doing for Cornerstone? Tell me, what kind of interaction are you seeing? What kind of stuff do you do?
Well, I've built a website, and I do a lot of the internet marketing, and I talk to people who write in comments on the website and answer questions and things like that.
What kind of FAQs are you getting?
Well, just today, we got a comment on the website, a person asking us whether, what we do for a tiny home that is going to go through a tornado or a hurricane. So I answered, you must go someplace else than your tiny home.
That's hilarious.
It is. It's a common question. Yeah,
But-
tiny homes are not good for hurricanes or tornadoes.
But you can take your tiny home with you.
But Haley has.
What? Hurry, go.
Yeah.
Oh, Haley, I mean, Cornerstone does something they do the cable tie downs or whatever. I don't have that. I wish I had that.
So we're going to post it.
Ours would we build. We're used to building to Florida code, and we use the same techniques in our tiny homes.
Hey, Brett, we're going to post that at TampaHometalk.com so you can elaborate a little bit more. Open house this Saturday, the 15th, from 1 to 4 p.m. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk, and for this week, we're out.
You've heard this before. Interest rates are at all-time record lows. But if your interest rate is 4% or above, you owe it to yourself to call Silverton Mortgage Specialist. Silverton is a direct lender, and the best part about this is that the entire loan process is handled in-house. From application to close, we do it all in the same building, which means that our loans close fast and our clients know what's going on every step of the way. Our contact info is located on TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show. What makes Silverton different? Products. We offer VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loans pricing. Best rates with the lowest closing cost. Process everything in-house. It's handled right here and not outsourced to anyone that no one can reach. This way we can avoid surprises. Our people are simply the best, and we know you'll agree. What will closing Silverton Mortgage Specialist mean to you? A smooth process, real home loan value, and personal attention from real professionals. Silverton Mortgage Specialists are here to serve you. Visit TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show for all of our contact details. NMLS 109600 is an equal housing lender and Florida and Georgia residential mortgage licensee.
You're buying a house. Congratulations. So while you're worrying about the paperwork, leave the moving part to us. We're Woody & Sons Moving Company, a Florida licensed and insured mover, and we offer same-day written estimates. Plus, no sneaky mileage, stairs, or additional stop fees. All we ask is that you check out our great ratings on Google and Angie's List, then go to woodyandsons.com to learn more. Whether you need a full-service pack and move or some extra hands, at Woody & Sons Moving Company, we move you.
Ask me about an inside secret to save several hundreds of dollars on your annual homeowner's insurance premium. Text the word WIND, W-I-N-D, to 813-377-2775. Again, 813-377-2775. Curious what your Tampa home is worth? Here's an easy way to find out what homes like yours are selling for in today's market. Text the word VALUE to 813-377-2775 for a free report on Tampa house prices. We'll send you a free report with up-to-the-minute statistics based on all homes for sale sold in your neighborhood over the last 6 months in all price ranges. To get your free report on Tampa Bay house prices, just call or text the word VALUE to 813-377-2775.
Hi, this is Aaron Davis, owner of Hillsborough Title. Hillsborough Title is a local, family-owned title agency here in Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. We've served Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Call us at 813-712-8888 or visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
Hey, Katrina Madewell here. Just wanted to make sure you know how to reach us on our off-air number. If you'd like to connect with myself or any of our guests, you can call us at 813-377-2775. Again, this is Katrina Madewell, host of Tampa Home Talk, and to connect with myself or any guests we have on air, just call or text at 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775.
Imus in the morning.
Here is Eddie Murphy. Hi, Eddie. Forbes magazine said I'm the most overpaid actor. Get out of here. I played 6 parts in Another Professor. Just think how much money the producers would have spent if they paid me 6 times. In Another Professor 2, I played 6 parts again. That's 12 parts for 2 movies. 12! I tell you who's overpaid. How about Jack Black? His last name is Black, but his movie's all in red. Kristen Stewart, they gave her $30 million to look into the camera with that blank stare and take long pauses between her lines. You know why she plays a vampire? Because bush and sucking all of Hollywood dry. You think I don't know what this is all about? It's because I'm black. They should have called the article Eddie Murphy is sitting on top of the world in Beverly Hills. But I guess they decided to call it Murphy Sucks because it didn't want to do Beverly Hills Cop 5. Somebody's still mad from bankrolling Pluto Nash. What was I supposed to do? Somebody said, hey man, here's $20 million for this piece of crap. I said, Brandy, Monty, this is my lucky day. This is my lucky day. And I cashed a check, which got me on Forbes' other list, the richest black celebrities.
Catch Ines in the Morning right here on the stations of the Tan Talk Network.